after the break. I'll give you an overview of what's the aim of Jedox and what's our goal. What we really try to do is to get out of the spreadsheet chaos and give our customer tools in their hand that they can solve their daily work a little bit better with our software. And a lot of prospects and later customers are Excel-based. So they're using Excel-based the whole day, and they also try to do planning and budgeting applications with Excel, which is a little bit difficult to do. And this is a story from a former prospect. They created always an Excel template for planning. So essentially, they have one Excel template where they lay out the data input, and of course, they want to send it out later on to the folks in the company, for the sales or marketing guys, for all of these. So they create copies of these spreadsheets because Excel has no data security. So if you want to eliminate, of course, the numbers you want to send out, you have to create copies of these sheets. Then, of course, you send them around, maybe through your organization, and this is just a sample. We have north, south, west, and so on. So you send it out, and you wait for input of that data. So again, you maybe collect the email back. It's too fast. So you collect the data back. And the good thing on Excel, and that's also the worst thing, you can change it very easily. So people in the field are adding columns, are adding formulas, maybe changing formulas, writing commands, or changing the format of your input sheet, which makes it very hard to get it consolidated. That's another long step. You have now all these sheets, and you have to consolidate the data back again to your master sheet so that you have one budget number at the total at all. And then it starts again maybe because you want to do the reporting of the data. So you see it's a lot of manual efforts. You have human interfaces everywhere, and they're making mistakes really, very easily. It's time consuming and expensive. You get a lot of errors automatically into that business process, and overall there is no control. You don't know where you are in the process, who started, who finished, who sent you maybe another version of it. Yeah? So it's a lot of manual tasks. If we use Palo together with Excel, it maybe looks like this. You still have your Excel template, but you don't need to have copies, because Palo is a central store for all your data, and only one sheet is required, and you can point the users via security to the data they want to see. You maybe send that once by email, so the master sheet is ready. Please log on to Palo and fill in the data. So you don't need to collect the sheets back again, and you don't need to do the ping pong. The consolidation stuff, the time-consuming consolidation of the sheets is gone, because Palo consolidates the data for you automatically on the fly. So you can see it at every stage of the planning, where you are, and so on. And then maybe you can also do it via web, because instead of using Excel, you can use a web spreadsheet, and you even don't need to install software around your company. So Palo is the center, our cube, which holds all the data, the security, and the structure. And we can now make it very streamlined, so we can remove all these manual tasks, and it's all in the center, and Palo stores and controls the process here. So the benefits at the end is that you have a very efficient planning tool. You're using your common knowledge. It's Excel. You are in Excel, so you don't need to learn anything else, and that's very important for us. And you have a full process control, because you always know where you are during your planning and budgeting phase. The good thing is that also analysts are now looking at this differently. And on the last BI summit of Gartner, they, so to say, waved the white flag that it's not possible to create a BI application without Excel. So you cannot step out of Excel and say, hey, the only chance is forget your Excel, it's worth. You have to do something else. They change it now. You cannot go out of Excel. You have to get Excel into the complete picture here. That's very nice because that's something we want to do for a very long time. Also, Aberdeen, and this is a statement from an Aberdeen analyst, David Hedge. He stated out, and that's definitely the truth, that if you create a nice looking, great BI application, your end user is asking you, the first question is, where's my export to Excel button? You have a very nice report, everything is great. They search, oh, where's the export button, because they want to analyze it on their own. They have to do it like this. So again, you have to have Excel, say, in the center, because that's your business tool. So that's also our mission statement for years. So we try to get the most out of Excel, which is definitely the most used BI tool. It's not claimed as it is, but we want to get the most out of it and make it the most useful BI tool. If you look at the BI market versus the spreadsheet market, the BI market is very huge. It's fast growing, so it's a 10 billion market and 8% growth rate per year. And all the big brands, the mega vendors, are concentrating on that market, of course. IBM, Oracle, SAP, Microsoft. But what they forget is the spreadsheet market, which is even bigger. So this is a number from Microsoft. They claim 500 million Excel spreadsheet users around the globe. And what Jedox is trying to do, we are doing BI, but we don't forget the spreadsheet users. So this is more or less our market space. We want to enable these spreadsheet users to be BI users and consumers. That's very important for us. These are topics, and you saw that in the movie. We claim that we are doing business intelligence, but our customers are doing a lot of more. They do planning, analyzing, and reporting. We have also an open source version of our offering. Financial planning is a topic, sales forecasting, so just get all of them. So a lot of, keywords maybe used by our customers, but behind it's always Palo. Some screenshots, how it looks like. This is Excel. Using Excel functionality as it is today, but behind is Palo. So the data is not stored anymore in Excel, it's stored centrally, and you can use it everywhere in the organization. You don't have to send around even that sheet. Another one, and that's typical what we are doing, and you see it later in the live presentation, we have charts. We are working heavily with spark lines or micro charts. This is a new thing in Excel 2010. We can also provide that everywhere in our platform. So even if you are on older Excel versions, you can use these fancy, nice charts to compress information and bring it to the report. And this is a screenshot of a dashboard of a web page, of Palo Web. So even if you start here in Excel, it's very easy to bring that later on to the website. Key requirements for successful BI projects. So if we are then starting using Palo, what are the key requirements to be successful at the end of the day? I want to talk about 4 of them. First, ease of use. So the application has to be easy to use and easy to implement. And this comes to second, the speed of implementation. You have to be very fast to get it productive. I'll show you some figures on that later. Query performance, I guess this is always the most important part. If the system is too slow, it's not accepted and it's not used by anybody, and then they are searching the export button again. And compatible with the future, there are some future topics like mobile, like software as a service, and I guess Jedox has good answers how we are compatible with the future. Let's step to ease of use. Just one word before we continue. Who knows the BI survey? Oh, great. Even a few of you. The BI survey was founded by Nigel Pensy. Nigel Pensy is a guru in the BI space coming from the UK. And meanwhile, it's BARC, the BARC Institute out of Europe, who is publishing this report once a year. And they are asking, 20, 30 questions to customers, and they can answer these questions. And if you have enough replies, you get into that report. And for the BI Survey 9, Palo was the first time mentioned there. So we are quite happy that we have a user base now which is large enough to get into that really important report. What BARC is doing, they collecting all these KPIs and created a new index which they call Business Benefit Index. And the Business Benefit Index shows what benefits the application gives at the end of the day, because BI is still something nice to have. Yeah? You need financial systems, you need ERP systems, you need CRM systems. That's a must for an organization. And BI, hey, we have Excel. That's my reality. So if you buy a BI product, it has to give you some benefit. And we are very proud, oh sorry, it's too fast, that we were second on that index, on the main index in that survey. And you see that they have, I guess, 26 or 23rd companies or vendors in that survey. And to get the second place, being the first time in that report, is great for Jedox. And you see that my German friends from SAP always have very negative indices here. And they are also not the fastest implementing times and speed. And you see that more in-memory databases like IBM, TM1 and so on are more on the blue side. I can send you these slides later on if you are interested in very, very nice studies. Okay. Ease of use. This is another chart, and I don't want to go to all these numbers, but they ask the question, is the software hard to use? And no one of our replies, of our customers, said that the software is hard to use. So we have definitely 0% here, which ranks us to the top 3 in that survey. Yeah? So that's important, and that's what we are trying. We don't want to over-engineer our software to make it complex and more complex and more complex with options 1, 2, 3 to 10. We try to be very easy to use so that everybody can start immediately. These are 2 slides, and I show that later in the demo. Why we are easy to use. This is Excel, and this is the final web report in Firefox. And to do so, you don't need to learn a web-based reporting tool. You just use your Excel spreadsheet know-how, and I guess the business user of you all have brilliant Excel know-how. So you use that, and you just publish the Excel spreadsheet later on as a web report, and you send out the link, and you can link on, and you can just fill in the numbers. I'll show you later in the demo. So important for us, business users, we enable business users to create their own and maintain their own reports without getting back to IT all the time. Speed of implementation. This is a nice sentence from a former colleague of mine. Everything in BI that takes longer than 6 months is not a project anymore, it's a problem. I like that sentence, so I stole it. So it's not mine. It's a problem, definitely. And not only my former colleague says that, also the guys from IDC made a study, and you see it very clearly. If a project takes longer and longer and longer, it will fail. It will definitely fail because the business has changed. You may bought another company. You want to have a different planning process, and at the end of the day, you start from scratch. Yeah? So that's very important that you are very fast, successful, and